In today's video, I will demonstrate how to add custom content to your Window Vision system with a particular focus on adding a full screen image. Full screen images can be great for a lot of different things. You can use them to advertise your sponsors. You can use them to promote local community events. A lot of people like to use them for promoting their agents. And so what you could do in that case is, create a 16 by 9 aspect ratio image that has like maybe your agent's photo on 1/3 of it and then like their bio, blurb over here. And so for the purposes of our demonstration today, I actually went and I found an image that's like that. I went to the internet and got an image for Realtor Bob here. So I had to do a little bit of work to this image in order to make it compatible with the software. So this is the one that I downloaded from the internet originally, and you can see it's a WebP file. WebP is sort of a newer file type that a lot of online images use now, but unfortunately they can't be uploaded as that file type into the software for the Window Vision system. So I took my WebP file and I converted it into a JPEG, and I'll show you how I did that real quickly. I just opened it with Microsoft Paint, and then I just did File, Save As, and it allows you to choose what type of file you want to save it as. So I chose a JPEG, and that gave me this Realtor Bob image here. Now, this one, it's not 16 by 9. It looks like it's probably 4 by 3. If I were to upload this image into the software, it would stretch and it would kind of distort the image and it wouldn't look as good as it should. So what I ended up doing is going back into Paint with my JPEG image here and then just cropping it down to get it to 1098 by 617 to get it to that 16 by 9 aspect ratio. Had to do a little math there, but if you're creating these with a graphic design program, you shouldn't have to do that math at all. They'll have templates that will be the aspect ratio you need, and you just make your image in that template. So now that I have my image ready to go, I can just open the TP71 admin app, enter my password, which is TP for Touchpoint. Both of those letters are lowercase. And then I can click the listings button here on the left-hand side. And when I arrive here on the listings page, what I see is all of the listings that are in the Window Vision system organized by code number. And what I want to do basically is find a free space in order to put this new listing that I'm creating, give it a home. And so you can think of these code numbers as like parking spots. You need to find an open one. So right here, in between 127 and 130, there's a couple of open spaces. 128 and 129 are not occupied. So I will click the Add button to create a new listing, and I will give it the code number 128. Click Apply, and now you'll see that this blank listing has populated in here. Now, what I'd like to do to differentiate it from the rest of this stuff and so that I can know at a glance what's in here is I will give it a title. Anything that you type into either the header or the address section here will show up right in this blank space. So I'm going to say Realtor Bob Bio. And another way I like to differentiate this from your average property listing is to make this all caps so that when I'm scrolling through here, if my MLS does upper and lowercase letters for most of their property listings, I'll see this all caps in here and I'll know that's manual content as I'm scrolling through the listings section here. So let me now move on to the next thing that you would want to choose related to this full screen image. So you can choose what type of content this is. Either standard content, which will show in the attraction loop. And what that means is every time the attraction loop cycles through, this listing 128 Realtor Bob's Bio is going to show up one time per cycle of the attraction loop. Now, if I want it to show up more frequently than that, I can classify this as a sponsored listing. So this would be for obviously people who are advertising to be in your system, or like say you've got a time-sensitive like local community event that's coming up, like there's a block party coming up in a couple weeks, and you want to throw in some content there to advertise every 90 minutes in the system. Hey, this block party's coming. We'd love it if you'd come down. It's happening right in front of our office, kind of a deal, or whatever. I'm going to leave this in here as regular content, so it's just showing once in the attraction loop per cycle, especially if this is an agent bio and I've got, a bunch of agents in my office. I want them each to have their own listing in here, and they can all sort of be peppered throughout the property listings that are going to be shown on the sidewalk. So the next thing you would want to do is choose your tour type. And there are a handful of options here. You'll see that we've got photos up at the top. Now, photos is what your basic property listings look like. So it's got the main MLS photo up at the top, and then all the slideshow photos below, and the beds, baths, and that sort of information, along with the map listing button and so on. You could also put in a URL. This would just be entering a web address, and that would lead someone to a fully functioning website. Or these bottom two, video and local media, are both generally used for video content. But since we're doing a full screen photo today, I'm going to click full screen photo and I'll apply my changes. And now I will click edit tour. And so in here, there's a couple of different options that you can do. One is you can add images, and another is you could add audio. And I've got some audio that I made earlier this week for one of our customers' sponsors in their window vision system. So I'm going to start by adding in some audio. And you can see what it does is as soon as you add that audio in, it gives you a preview of what that audio is going to sound like. You can just click the pause button if you don't want to hear it. And then also it sets the duration for this listing to the length of that audio track. So for instance, if you had Realtor Bob's bio, you could have Realtor Bob actually read that text and capture that into an audio file, a voice memo on his phone or something like that. And then you could put some background music to it, and then you could put that whole audio track together and put it into the system in here. And so it would be Realtor Bob's voice reading his own bio. Alternatively, if you want an option like that but don't have the time to put that together, for a fee, Touchpoint Systems is we're using an AI-generated voice software now that's just became available, and we can create your audio files for you with background music that's royalty free and all that good stuff. So if you'd like to create bios for your listings and have them all read in the same voice, that's a nice way to do it, and we're happy to oblige you. So now what I can do is add this image here. And so I know that I saved it in documents, so I'm just going to go and find my Realtor Bob 16:9 aspect ratio version. And I will add that, and you can see the duration of the Realtor Bob photo automatically picked up on the length of the audio file that it's associated with. So I'm just going to apply changes. And now we've got our listing 128 that has our Realtor Bob bio in it. So the next thing we need to do is check our work. That's always a good thing to do right after installing new content into the system. So I'm going to do this, just close out of the admin app, and then I will do a slide generation. Anytime you create new stuff, this is also a good habit to get into. Just do a quick generate slides so that you can be sure that the new changes, are going to look the way they should when you open the kiosk up. And then you can open the kiosk and wait for it to start. And then once it starts running, I can just touch 1, 2, 8. And now we've got our Realtor Bob bio in there with whatever background audio we want or no audio at all. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Please feel free, if we can answer any questions, give us a call, shoot us a text. We're happy to sit down and discuss how you can best use the window vision system to advertise and market what you want to the people that are walking by your storefront.